My dear parents, Salesian educators, and most especially our dear Bosconians from grade 6 and kindergarten, good morning and congratulations. Allow me first to let you listen to this song.
The wise man built his house upon the rock. The wise man built his house upon the rock. The wise man built his house upon the rock, and the rains came a-tumbling down. The rains came down and the floods came up. The rains came down and the floods came up. The rains came down and the floods came up, and the house on the rock stood firm. The foolish man built his house upon the sand. The foolish man built his house upon the sand. The foolish man built his house upon the sand, and the rains came a-tumbling down. The rains came down and the floods came up. The rains came down and the floods came up. The rains came down and the floods came up, and the house on the sand went splat. So build your house on the Lord Jesus Christ. So build your house on the Lord Jesus Christ. So build your house on the Lord Jesus Christ, and the blessings will come down. The blessings come down as your prayers go up. The blessings come down as your prayers go up. The blessings come down as your prayers go up. So build your life on the Lord.
You know, that song comes from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 7, verses 24 to 27, and I'd like to read it. Everyone who listens to these words of mine and acts on them will be like a wise man who built his house on rock. The rain fell, the floods came, and the winds blew and buffeted the house, but it did not collapse. It had been set solidly on rock. And everyone who listens to these words of mine, but does not act on them, will be like a fool who built his house on sand. The rain fell, the floods came, and the winds blew and buffeted the house, and it collapsed and was completely ruined. You know, my dear friends, this is the time for building. You, my dear Bosconians, grade 6 who are about to graduate, and our kindergarten students. Well, as I said, you do not have to wait for the time when you are in junior high school, senior high school, or college. This is the time for building. If you would do well in those times, it would be because you have learned well today, this past years. Yes, in your grade school, and even in kindergarten. In 1986, many of you were not yet born. Of course, no one among our young people here were already born. There was a book published by Robert Fulghum, and the title is very interesting. All I Really Need to Know, I Learned in Kindergarten. It was very interesting. He said, these are the things I learned in kindergarten. 1, share everything. You see, just with that adage, it is something true for the rest of your life. 1, share everything. 2, play fair. 3, don't hit people. 4, put things back where you found them. 5, clean up your own mess. 6, don't take things that aren't yours. 7, say you're sorry when you hurt somebody. 8, wash your hands before you eat. 9, flush. Of course, that's for the toilet. 10, warm cookies and cold milk are good for you. 11, live a balanced life, live the balanced life. Learn some and drink some and draw some and paint some and sing and dance and play and work every day some. 12. Take a nap every afternoon. 13. When you go out into the world, watch out for traffic, hold hands, and stick together. 14. Be aware of wonder. Remember the little seed in the styrofoam cup. The roots go down and the plant goes up, and nobody really knows how or why, but we are all like that. 15. Goldfish and hamster and white mice, and even the little seed in the styrofoam cup, they all die. So do we. And 16, and then remember the Dick and Jane books and the first word you learned, the biggest word of all, look. Beautiful. Yes, my dear Bosconians, much of what your life will be built upon, you have learned in these tender years. And to all these, we add another word, pray. You have learned to deepen your faith here in Don Bosco. In the future, when you would be adults, this is one of the things you would go back over and over again. The times when you sat with your mom and dad in bed and you recited your prayers before you sleep. The time when in assembly we opened our prayer books and called on Jesus and Mary. The times you knelt in the shrine of Mary Help of Christians, visiting Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament. The time when we asked the intercession of our saints, Don Bosco, Dominic Savio. This experience of faith is what will make you stronger. With this, you will be like the wise man who built his house on rock. Our motto this year remains very true, especially during these years during these months when we suffered the onslaught of the Taal volcano in the first month, right before our Don Bosco Day, and then also during this COVID crisis. That motto runs and remains true towards greater faith. We need faith more than ever. The crisis brought about by COVID-19, like the rains and floods of life, we will all weather. Dear parents, Salesian educators, let the prayers of our little ones teach us to be strong and prayerful ourselves. May God bless you all.